A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. After Jesus had left that place, he passed along the Sea of Galilee, and he went up the mountain where he sat down. Great crowds came to him, bringing with them the lame, the maimed, the blind, the mute, and many others. They put him at his feet, and he cured them. So that the crowd was amazed when they saw the mute speaking, the maimed whole, the lame walking, and the blind seeing. And they praised the God of Israel. Then Jesus called his disciples to him and said, I have compassion for the crowd, because they have been with me now for 3 days, and have nothing to eat. And I do not want to send them away hungry, for they might faint on the way. The disciples said to him, Where are we to get enough bread in the desert to feed so great a crowd? Jesus asked them, How many loaves have you? They said 7, and a few small fish. Then ordering the crowd to sit down on the ground, he took the 7 loaves and the fish, and after giving thanks, he broke them and gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the crowd. And all of them ate and were filled. And they took up the baskets of broken pieces left over, 7 baskets full. Those who had eaten were 4,000 men, besides women and children. After sending away the crowds, he got into the boat and went to the region of Magadan. The Gospel of the Lord. Here in the middle of the first week of Advent, we have this beautiful story of Jesus feeding 4,000. This is slightly less popular than Jesus feeding the 5,000, which is actually found in all 4 Gospels, but nevertheless still important. This passage shows the deep compassion of Jesus and his ability to feed many, the authority that he has. Also unique in this passage is he's not in Jewish territory. He's among the Gentiles, for it says they praised the God of Israel. So he's not in his normal places that we would find in the Gospel of Matthew. So it's really significant that he's here. One of the things that strikes me right away, however, with this passage that I've learned by studying the disabilities movement and learning from them is that the Gospels sometimes are not too kind for people with disabilities and name them and call them by their disability. And we know that no one wants to be defined by their ailment, the blind, the maimed, the mute. And it says the maimed were made whole. We like to think that no matter what our physical challenges might be, that we're still whole as humans. But nevertheless, we have a God who's compassionate and cares about our physical needs. And the larger part of the story, at least for me, is that he feeds everyone, no matter what their condition, and he cures everyone. So Jesus cares for our physicality as well as our spiritual needs. He came to save our souls. We also have a throwback to Moses, don't we, with the desert and do we have enough bread? Jesus in Matthew is the new Moses, and he comes up with even more bread. He multiplies what they have so that everyone is fed with the bread and the fish. One of the takeaways for this is that Jesus is not in Jerusalem or in the lands of Israel. He's with the Gentile. Jesus is being stretched to include his ministry, to expand his ministry to those beyond the borders. Maybe that's a takeaway for us. To go outside of our comfort zones this Advent. To have deep compassion for those outside of our midst. Of course, we all have our circles that we tend to gravitate towards. Maybe Jesus is calling us this Advent to go beyond, to stretch our care and compassion for those beyond our midst. And maybe in doing so, we can welcome them to join us in our places of worship. May we be blessed by this God of deep compassion and this God of abundance. Scarcity is not an option for Jesus here, nor should it be for us. May we stretch ourselves and share what we have, knowing that God will multiply it, break it, and bless it, and distribute to those in need indeed. Blessings to you this holy Advent. Amen.